morning, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
And I'm the podfather of gaming, Stephen Bonacore.
And we're all just the slightest bit sad that we're here and not at Essen.
I'm definitely sad about that.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm not overwhelmed like, oh, but I am like, oh, it would have been nice to have been there for sure.
Yeah, I've been seeing some pictures out of there, but not like the big picture yet because, I mean, it literally just started, right? Like a few hours ago.
Yeah, they're about, they're 6 hours ahead of us or 5 hours ahead of us?
So about 6 hours ago it started, since it's 10 a.m. here, but 10 a.m. over there. And I've been seeing some booth pictures, but not like what the whole crowd looks like, which is going to be obviously an interesting look. And things look like they're going well, and except for some logistical problems that some poor companies had. That's always going to be an issue.
Well, that happens a lot. Yeah. So, well, anyway, we like to be there, but hey, we're looking forward to the Dice Tower retreat, which is less than a month away, just barely less than a month away. And folks, because we got moved from one room to another to a bigger room, we have, I think, 13 tickets available, extra tickets as of 30 minutes ago. So you too can come to this. And what's going to be cool about this, folks, is all these Essen Spiel games, not all of them, but a good chunk of them will be there. It is 5.5 days of straight gaming because we're actually opening up Tuesday night now. So you'll be able to come and play games with the Dice Tower Library with us. This is sponsored by Arcane Wonders. And so they'll have their stuff there too. And we hope that you can come and have a good time. Mr. Bonacore is not coming. So that's a positive.
No, Tom, I am coming.
Okay, well, just pretend, folks, you didn't hear that. I still would like you to come.
Wow.
That is so wrong. Why did you think I'm not coming?
I knew you were
didn't
coming.
invite
Sorry,
you.
that's called
In
a
fact,
setup.
he put you on a list to not be there. That's why.
We have may not come to conventions. There's like 3 people on it, and it's Stephen Bonacore, Podfather of Gaming. It's in quotes, of course.
That joke was so good that I didn't even realize that you were making a joke. So kudos to you on that one. Very good. I am going to be there.
I hope you all can make it. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you want to come, all you need to do is you can go to, just email Sharon at dicetower.com. She's in charge. She'll get you in if you want to come, but don't delay. Let's see. Is there anything else going on in the world? We're going to be talking about news later on it seems like I'm feeling good, though, with the Essen Fair going and Gen Con and Origins just happened. It feels like we're at the halfway stepping stone to normality. And next year will be hopefully normal conventions to some degree.
Can't wait.
Well, let's jump to some contributors, and then we'll be back. We'll be back with a game show.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany.
From Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
Today we're talking about Bosk. This is a game all about trees and the leaves they drop. You're going kind of through the life cycle of a tree, or at least a year in the life of a tree. In the spring, you have a setup round, and then in the summer, you score that setup round. In the fall, you have a setup round, and in the winter, you have a scoring round based off of the setup round. So it's kind of how it goes through the whole year.
So before we get into our thoughts on the game, you know that we like to talk about what we're doing to achieve better health in our life. And I just want to mention, again, this is like my hill to die upon, that it is so important to be outside, especially with nature. They've even published studies that saying people who work in an office, if they have a window with just a tree outside, that drastically benefits their mood. So it's something that works really well for me. It's just to be outside, especially when I feel like I'm going into a season of depression. So I just want to encourage everybody to try to get at least 15 minutes outside. It really does wonders for you. Even if it's boring during it, it still does good for you.
And especially right now, as things are getting a little bit cooler out. This is the sweater time. This is the time to do a hike. So you can see things like this beautiful Quantai Moria art, but in nature. All right. This game is just so photogenic. There's just these beautiful different colored trees. They have these little wooden leaf meeples scattering all over the forest floor. It just looks so good. This is a great presentation for a game.
It really is. And the game is pretty seamless when it comes to the seasons. It naturally moves into the next season of gameplay. Like, it makes sense and you like it. You place the trees, and then like the very last thing you do is you take the trees away when you move the leaves around. Like, it just makes a lot of sense. And I really like how seamless it goes from all the seasons.
Yes, this is a fun one. We liked it a lot. Very timely right now.
If you want to watch more of us, you can find us on Facebook or YouTube. We are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. Well, everybody, this is Ryan. I'm Bethany. Hoping you have a happy, healthy breakfast.
Bye everybody.
Guys.
Hi, I'm Jordan. This is Weeknight Games, where I talk about a game that's good to play on a weeknight. Now, one of my favorite series of games, I guess two, is the Cosmos two-player line, and then also the Lookout games two-player line. That one has Patchwork. That one has Mandala, which is one of my all-time favorites. Glasgow is a really solid one in there. Trombone, which is kind of an underrated gem in my collection. And they just released a new one this year called Great Plains. Great Plains is by the same team that did Mandala, with the same designers, the same artists, the whole got the gang back together for this one. This one is nothing like Mandala. Mandala is a, play a card in the center, score some sets of cards, that kind of thing. This is a board game. It comes with tile boards that have hexes on them, and you're going to be placing your colored pieces on these hexes. And there's different types of hexes. Some hexes are going to be scored at the end of the game, and some hexes are going to give you kind of a bonus action type thing that you can use on a future turn. And so there's this kind of push and pull on your turns, because you want to be able to have enough pieces in these scoring areas for an area majority type thing at the end of the game, but you also want these bonus spaces, these bonus actions to be able to place a little further or push your opponents off the board. And so these, you have to balance these two things. You can't go for all the bonus spaces, because then you won't have enough places to put, or enough pieces to put in those scoring spots. But the game also plays really quickly. So it's a really cool kind of push and pull on your own turns, trying to figure out how you're going to balance those things. This one is really awesome. It's a game that you're definitely going to play like 2 or 3 times in a row, because it is so quick, and you're going to want to be like, okay, I think I got it now. I'm going to try this one again. But that is Great Plains. I love this one. This one is sticking around. I'm Jordan. Thanks.
Welcome to a game show between Mr. Bonacore, Mr. Garcia, and you, the people. I rolled some dice here, and I'm going to take some random answers from people that you'll both be going up against. Today, we're going to find out your knowledge. There's no multiple choice here. You will actually fill in the blanks here.
Let's go. I love fill in the blank.
You don't. In fact, last time I ran this version of this game, you both told me it was too hard.
It is too hard.
What are you talking about? This is my favorite blank.
Alrighty, so I'm going to be giving you a word. You'll give me, and we're going to start with, let's see.
Pick a word.
Z, pick even or odd?
Odd, baby.
All right, you're first. So you're going to give me a game with that word in the title. Then Mr. Bonacore has to pick a different game. Meanwhile, I'll pick 2 random games that people in the chat will say. And you want to have the game that has the most people voting for it, the most popular game. Not the highest rated one, just the one that's the most popular.
Wait. Done. And on Board Game Geek, I'm sorry, is it the most?
On Board Game Geek, yes. On BoardGameGeek.com. The most rated game. You're not allowed to look, everybody involved, I hope.
Well, come on.
Cheating. How am I supposed to Google this if I can't look?
So today we're going to start with a descriptor here. And again, something you all forgot about last time, the word could be part of a bigger word sometimes. Yep. It's possible.
Yep.
I didn't forget it. It's just my brain doesn't work that way. My Achilles heel.
You now. All right.
My Achilles heel in many of these things is unscrambling letters. Like, my brain is terrible at that. Like, seeing a word that's all messed up and I'm supposed to figure out what word is in there. And this is kind of that. So my brain doesn't work that well with that.
Well, again, it's probably not an issue this time, but I'm just letting you know that's always a possibility. All righty. So let's start with the first word is giant. Something people call me a giant. Giant. So a board game with the word giant in. Chat, go wild. Start giving me your answers because I have some numbers here that I'm going to write down, and we'll see what happens. Let me get the score down here. We got Z, Mr. Bonagor, and the people. So we're looking for a game with the word giant in it.
Okay.
Now, this is not
I'm
going to
by
go well.
Board Game Geek, so if, there's this word shows up in one obscure version of something, it works.
I'm in like Flynn. Can I tell you mine?
This is not going to go well for me. I'm
going to write down
right
the people's choice.
My brain does not work.
I should also mention that this includes anything on Board Game Geek. So.
Okay.
And I got both people's choice. All right. So let me explain before you guess, Z. You get 1 point if you are higher than Mr. Bonagor. You get 1 point if you match one of the people choice answers that was just written here.
Okay.
All right. The Mr. Bonagor, same thing to you. So you can get up to 2 points. And the people get a point if they're matched. And the people get a point if they're higher than both of you. They have to be higher than both of you, though.
Should we write these down and say them simultaneously, or?
Nope. This is going to be first come, first serve. So, Z, you're first. He can't say the one you say.
This is bad. This is so bad. I'm gonna
go with, I think this is what they call this edition of it. King Domino Giant edition, I think, is a thing.
You already won this game. I'm gonna pray that there was a lot of people who owned this as a child, like I did. Land of the Giants.
Yo.
Oh, okay. Hang on here.
What? Did I do something wrong?
Neither one of your answers was on the top 10. Oh my. Okay. Well, you both surprised me with how bad your answers were. Okay. Well, Land of the Giants has one person voting for it.
Yes, it was me, I think. No, it wasn't me.
But here's the thing. Giant King Domino is not in the Board Game Geek database. But Mr. Bonagor or Z, if you had just gone a little sideways, because the two answers from the people, first of all, one of them was the word giants from Matago Games. Yeah. And the other one was the expansion for King Domino called Age of Giants.
Age of Giants, sure, but there is the expansion's not going to have that many votes. King Domino will.
I bet it has more than one vote, and you would have won.
The number one answer would have been Giant Scrabble Deluxe Edition, then Giant Blocus, then Giant Clue, then Giant Rhino Hero, then Giant Quarto, then Giant Dominoes, then Giant Pass the Pigs. There's a lot of.
Remember when I said this was my favorite game?
Yeah.
I may have been.
No, you said it was your favorite. You said it was your favorite blank.
Yes. Yeah, but you don't. But blank was.
I agree.
Blank is
but
changing.
I am surprised.
Let's put it that way. I'm changing what blank stood for.
Actually, with 1,549 votes, there's Survive Escape from Atlantis, the Giant Squid mini expansion.
Wow, yeah, there is.
Even Bonacor doesn't remember publishing that.
What?
There's also Assault of the Giants. There's Kung Fu Samurai and Giant Robot Island. There's a lot of games with giants in, so I really thought this would be pretty easy. But
easy.
Z, you're still gonna go first here.
Why?
Okay.
We're gonna switch, and the reason why is because we're switching categories briefly. Now I want the most modern movie with the word giant in it.
How many points were scored there? I scored a point.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Do that.
Mr. Bonacor has 1 point, and
Yes.
the people have a point because their answers were higher than both of yours. So
And I don't
it's
have a point?
1-0. This isn't bad. This isn't bad, Z. You can catch up here.
No, Tom, okay? You're being a giant blank.
Well, you're being a big blank. So I need a movie now that has the word giant in it, and you're trying to get the most modern movie.
Jeez.
So if you could think of something that comes out in 2021, any movie with the word giant in. That's why he's going first twice here, Mr. Bonacor, because I didn't want you to be first in every movie category and him first in every board game.
Could
So
I
you
ask
go first
Paula?
in the next two.
Can I
You
ask
cannot
Paula?
ask. You
She's
cannot
right
ask
over there.
Paula.
She's right
No.
over there. Come on. I can
I
phone a
don't care.
friend.
Can Z ask Roy and Mike?
No. That's like ringers. No.
All right, I have the ones from the people here.
Wow, man. Okay. I think this is legit. Can I say mine?
Yes, go ahead.
There's a movie that came out. The movie I think is called, like, it's about a big friendly giant. It's called BFG, right?
I will accept that because, yes, that does mean big friendly giant. Also, good news for you, Z. That matches one of the people's choices.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. Mr. Bonacore.
The very popular Kingdom of the Giants.
Kingdom of the Giants.
You need to give answers that are, more recent than the 60s. Kingdom of the Giant. What is that?
I don't think it was a movie. I don't know.
Okay, well, you're lucky because apparently there is a movie called The Kingdom of the Giants 3D, which I'll accept.
Yes.
It is about fish, and it came out in 2015. Unfortunately,
come on.
No, Z, your movie came out in 2016.
Yeah, I knew that. I definitely
All
knew
right. So Z gets 2 points, and the people get 1 point. By the way, the people had 2 last round because they matched Bonacore. So I'll get to that. Mr. Bonacore, you got no points. So the 2 people's choices were the Big Friendly Giant and Little Giants.
Why did they match?
Okay.
I thought.
But there's also James and the Giant Peach. There's Jack the Giant Killer, and the best movie of them all, The Iron Giant.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand the
So
scoring.
what's the current score, Tom?
Current score is Z has 2, Bonacore has 1, and the people have 3.
So how did they get a point?
They only get a point. They get a point if they match you, but they also get a point if they're higher than both of you.
Right.
Which
so
in this case they were not.
They got 1 point last time. Right? You said 2.
Yes. They got a point because they matched you, and they were higher than both of you.
So they get a point if we match, and I get a point if we match?
Yes.
Well, wait, they didn't match. I
have a question. Is this like a beta version of these rules?
You know what?
Yes.
It doesn't matter. They're winning. 3-2-1.
This time.
Who
You're first this time.
cares about the score?
Yes. You're right.
Hit me with another one.
Let's go to the opposite of giant. Let's go to tiny. A board game with the word tiny in it. And don't tell me you can't think of any.
I will pick tiny, epic.
Wait.
Oh.
Hang on a second.
Oh well, yeah.
Give people a little bit of time to think here. I didn't even write down the people's choice.
This one's
yet.
easy for me. Finally. I'm ready. Finally, I know one that has a good chance of winning. Can I say it now?
No. All right. I'm starting to get the people's choice in. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to write down that's the first answer. And I need to wait because of these random ones. Oh. Okay. Well, that was not what I expected. All right. Mr. Bonacore.
Tiny Epic Kingdoms.
Tiny
Ta-da.
Epic Kingdoms. All right. Z?
I'm going to say Tiny King Domino. No, I'm
Really?
kidding. Tiny.
I thought it was serious. I'm like, I don't know that game.
Man. Oh, my answer's going to be King Dom. No. Tiny Epic Galaxies. Boom, in your
All
face.
right.
That's a highly rated one.
No.
The people's choice. The people chose Tiny Epic Pirates and Tiny Town.
Oh yeah, Tiny Town. Yeah.
Now, Tiny Towns was number 2, actually. Tiny
That was
Epic
number one,
Kingdoms
though.
was number 3, and Tiny Epic Galaxies number 1. So Z gets a point on that one. Mr. Bonacore gets no points, and the people get no points. So the score is 3 for Z, 3 for the people, and 1 for Mr. Bonacore.
That makes sense.
You could have also said any of the other Tiny Epic games. Once we get out of the Tiny Epic category, there's also Tiny Tin Spoons. But yeah, there's not a lot beyond that. There's also a little game called Tiny Ninjas that came out in 2019, which is completely not worth your time. All right, Mr. Bonico, you're first again. Folks, tiny, but now movies.
This is impossible.
Oh, I'm just kidding. There is no tiny in movies, or it was very hard, so I changed the word for movies to the word little.
Little. Oh,
yes,
okay.
Because little was easier for movies.
Okay,
tiny was too difficult.
Yeah.
And by the way, folks, we're not talking about ranking here. We're talking about the number of people who vote for it. So the more popular game. But here we're trying to pick the most modern movie here. Which this is such a disadvantage for Mr. Bonacor since apparently he stopped watching movies 30 years ago.
Such a jerk.
You're the one who's picking these super old movies. My dad said, what are these movies? Oh, they came out when I was a much older adult, is what he usually says.
Oh. No.
All right, hang on.
All right, tell me one.
I got the People's first one and the second one. That's hilarious. All right.
Who's first here?
Mr. Bonker, you're first. What's your answer?
Little Woman.
All right. Z?
No, it's Pretty Woman, man. Little Woman. Walking down the street, little woman. No.
Yeah.
Mr. Bonker, just for purposes of clarification, what did you say the name of your movie was?
Little Woman.
Little Women.
Little Women or Little Woman?
Said Little Woman.
I said woman. I can't cheat. Can't cheat. Gamers don't cheat. Little Woman. And I know it's going to be women.
Fine, you can have little.
It's form of the word. Counts. It counts.
We'll allow it because there is no such movie called Little Woman. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't have anything newer than that. The only one I could come up with is Chicken Little.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. All righty. Well, that's correct, Mr. Bonacor. Little Women came out in 2019. Ooh. Chicken Little came out earlier than that. The people picked Dr. Dolittle.
Oh.
And Little Giants again, which I found amusing.
Now, here's the thing. Which one's older if we pick the first release of Little Women?
I picked the newest one. So I'm picking, there's a 2019 version of Little Women. And unfortunately, that's the full title of it. I cannot give it to the people because there's a movie called Dolittle, but Dr. Dolittle is older than that. So even though you might argue that that's newer, I'm giving the point to Mr. Bonacor.
Whoa.
So there's now 2 for Mr. Bonacor, 3 for Z, and 3 for the people. Z, you're now back in the pole position here. And the word now is up. We're looking for a game with the word up in it, U-P. People, go ahead, give me your guesses. So just the word up. And by the way, you know I'm going to be asking the same thing in movie form, so you can think about that too. So we're looking for a game with the word up. And again, it could be part of a bigger word possibly. And I got the 2 people's choice, so whenever you're ready, Z.
Oh, come on.
I got this one.
I'm going to go with...
one I finally got.
And again, just so everyone's clear, we're picking not the highest rated game, but the game with the most voters.
This game has to have the most votes. It's a little known game called Monopoly. Come on.
That's a Chris Yee joke. That's terrible.
Okay, hold on. No, I gotta think. It's terrible. I don't know.
Oh, this
I can't
one was
come up with anything.
The first easy one.
What? What's up?
How about Lupin? You can try Lupin.
Camel Up. Camel Up.
Oh, that's a good one.
Camel Up. All right. What about you, Mr. Bonacor?
It's not nearly as good as Time's Up. Yeah,
right.
Baby.
Well, Mr. Bonacor, you and the people both get a point for matching because Time's Up was one of theirs. The other people's answer was Upwards.
Oh, yeah.
The number one answer, though, which nobody got, was Smash Up.
Oh, yeah.
The number two answer is Camel Up.
Blammo.
Oh, nice one.
And then we have
not
Tower Up, which is Tower Up is an alternative name for Jenga. Then King of Tokyo, Power Up. Then Once Upon a Time, the storytelling game, Flick 'em Up.
Time's Up is not in the top 10? Wow.
Time's Up has 5,190 people have voted for it, the original version. But Camel Up has 23,633. You forget, party games are not as popular on Board Game Geek.
But they should be. Party games rock.
I don't disagree with that.
Party games rock. All you guys out there, vote for party games. I love them.
No, folks, I know you said Smash Up, but I'm picking two. I wrote some random numbers, and those are the answers I picked. Go ahead, start shooting out your movie answers here. We're trying to pick the newest movie with the word up in it somewhere. So I thought the up one would be easier because I immediately thought of Smash Up and Time's Up.
Am I first?
No. Yeah. Yes, you are first. You're first for the movie ones.
Think about this. Oh, okay.
This is too hard.
I'm over here thinking about stuff.
All right, I got one of the people's choices. I'm trying to look for another one. And
it's the
there it
easiest
is.
one yet.
All right, Z, you're first.
Up.
Oh.
All right. Guess what, Z? You matched the people.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah. Duh. It's going to be the most popular one, too. Or,
all right, Mr. Barker, you have to come up with a newer movie that
newer, not popular.
No, right,
newer.
right,
You have a few years.
Up is 2009.
Yeah, got like a whole decade, man. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you.
I think there was a movie called Time's Up. I'm going to go Time's Up.
There you go. Same answer for both always works.
Always. It's a rule. God, can we please?
All right. I hate to give you points, but there's a Time's Up movie that came out in 2021.
Yeah.
No, Tom.
Yeah.
No.
It's a horror movie on New Year's Eve.
Describe the plot to me, Stephen Bonacore. What's the plot?
It's a horror movie. It's a horror movie. I
New Year's
I didn't
Eve,
see it.
A faculty party for teachers, still reeling from the suicide of a bully student, goes horribly wrong when an unexpected guest arrives with an unusual request: participate in a scavenger hunt or die.
Absolutely. I wasn't going to see the movie.
Hannah Fierman, Damian Mathai, and Elsie Holt.
Oh, amazing actors.
The people's choices were Up and Grown Ups 2.
Grown Ups 2? Oh, man. I guess it's newer, so there you go.
All right, so I'm looking here at the point totals. Yeah, so the people have 5, Z has 5, and Mr. Bonacore has 4.
Oh, it's close.
That's too close. That's too close for comfort.
All right, let's reverse Up. I now want a board game with the word down in it. And again, down can be part of a bigger word if you so desire. Any part of this, I'm looking for a game with the word down in it. Whatever game Mr. Bonger picks will also be the name of his movie, but realize
probably
we're going to be asking for a movie with the word down in it too. So we did giant and tiny and up and down and okay. The people only have one answer because I said I was going to pick 2 random answers, but it was the same one. So that's how life works.
All right, Steven
and
is first,
Mr. Bonacore, you're first this time.
Down the drain.
Got it. I'll go look that up in a second. Z?
Downforce.
Downforce.
Of course.
All right. Z, that gives
Down
you
the drain. I love. Huh?
2. Okay, I'll look up Down the Drain just in case it has more than 9,092. Is Down the Drain even a game? Yes.
Yes.
It came out in 2005. It has 1 vote.
That's Steven's vote.
I just voted just now on that one.
Actually, I'm going to see who did.
It's not me. I promise.
It's a comment. Here's the comment on the game. Cute Waterworks clone with a fun bathtub case, quick and easy, and then they gave it a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
There you go. The rave review.
So the people got a point there because they matched Z. Mr. Bonacor got nothing. Z, you got a point because you matched the people, and you got a point because you beat Bonacor. So now Z's winning with 7. The people have 6, and Mr. Bonacor has 4, jumping to movies. So anything with the word down in it.
Are you ready?
Well, I'm waiting for a few people's.
Sure. I got mine. I got a good one.
I got one of the people's.
Not down the drain. It's down the sewer. It's not down the sewer.
All right, I got both of the people's. Go ahead.
Downton Abbey.
All right.
Hope you spell it right. I hope I spell it like that. I don't even know.
Is that even a movie? That's not a movie.
I think it might.
They did make a movie of it, yes.
Yeah, I thought they did. And it's obviously recent. Yeah, baby.
Fine. You know what? Then I'm going. I don't know then. So I'm going with Steven's title, Down the Drain. For the movie.
Probably a movie. But mine's.
It probably came out in 2021, too.
Might have.
Well, a Down the Drain movie came out in 1990.
Not bad.
A crooked lawyer brings together some of the clients he's gotten off and schemes to rob a bank vault. However, after the robbery, he discovers that the goods he's stolen is actually a top-secret microchip that foreign powers are after, and they will stop at nothing to get it. Directed by Robert Hughes, who also directed the famous movie Memorial Valley Massacre, Out of Control, and VR Troopers, and starring Andrew Stevens.
Oh, Andrew, good guy.
Andrew Stevens is the president of
VR Troopers, huh? VR Troopers, okay.
Actually, Andrew Stevens was, I guess, a bit character in Boondock Saints. But anyway. Well, guess what, Mr. Bonacor? Not only were you better than Z, but you also matched the people. They also said Downton Abbey, and they said Watership Down.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
So our points here are Z has 7, Mr. Bonacor has 6, and the people have 7. So the final one, there's only one question left. This is for games, but this is what we're going to do on this one. So I'm going to pick 2 random people's choices. Again, I already have the numbers written down at the answers. You are trying to be the highest. I'm going to give 2 points. Whoever gets this one wins it. 2 points. You have to be the highest, and you cannot match anybody else. If you match anyone else, your answer is out.
What's the word?
Okay,
and he goes first.
The word is through. 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 Through.
Okay.
We went up, down, and now we're going through.
Look how clever you are. Oh, that's so clever, you.
At least I could come up with the names of games.
Bad man, you. You know what? I gotta write one of these dumb games sometime. I will.
Yeah,
I'm doing it.
Next week, everyone, Mr. Bonacor is running the game show.
That won't happen.
Oh.
Because that sounds like work.
Wow.
I might do it. I'll do it. Oh, okay. And you can't. Oh.
Okay, hold on.
It's also possible, guys, that the people will cancel themselves out because they give 2 answers that I pick randomly.
Yeah, I know, but.
Not that I want the people to lose, because I'm on your side. All right, I got the people's choices.
Hold on.
This time, I want you guys to write your answer down, and we'll reveal them simultaneously.
Yeah, this you have to. All right, I got mine.
I got mine.
I hope you were fair about picking these answers, Tom.
I have the numbers and everything written down on the sheet.
Yeah. And then you count, right? Then you say, I'm picking the 5th one. You counted it, right?
In this one, I picked the 2nd and the 14th answer, if that helps.
No, it doesn't help me. But I just hope that those people there did not pick the obvious one, which I'm going to pick. Are we ready? Who goes first? Oh, simultaneous, right?
It's simultaneous, but we'll let you say. Z, you got yours?
I got it.
All right. Go ahead and say yours first, Mr. Bonneker.
Through the ages.
All right. And Z?
I said through the desert.
Oh, that's a good one, dude.
So let's talk about the numbers where they're at. So Through the Ages is both 1 and 2 of the most voted on games. Through the Desert is 3. Number 4 is Roll Through the Ages.
Oh, of course.
And then then the next one that you would know would be Passing Through the Netherworld, which is another name for Senet, that old Egyptian game. Then Back to the Future, Dice Through Time, Passing Through Petra. And after that, they get more obscure. The people both said the same answer, canceling themselves out. No joke here. And they both said Through the Ages.
Of course they did. Oh.
So that means Z gets 9 points. The people have 7. Mr. Bonneker has 6 points. And that is another win for Mr. Garcia.
Oh!
Congratulations, sir.
I want to thank Rainer Knizia. I want to thank my agent.
We'll be back in just a minute, folks, with the news. So we'll be back soon.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning. Today we are taking a look at my first ever worker placement game that you made me play.
Didn't make you. I encouraged you.
You encouraged me to play. It is Crown of Emar. When you first laid it out, I was a bit, there's so many things going on. A bit AP. But once you start playing, very, very straightforward.
Yeah, it's quite a simple worker
and lovely.
placement.
And really nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this is kind of why I encourage you to play it, because it's very good looking on the table.
Yeah.
And imposing as it is, it's quite straightforward. You've got 2 kind of rondelles, like a city and a village, countryside. And you kind of collect resources in the countryside, and then you use those resources in the city, and you kind of move your little councillor man around the track doing those things and placing your worker to achieve those actions and so on.
Your main aim is to build your standing in the community,
yeah.
to be able to become the crown.
You're trying to achieve the crown because the king's retiring.
As they do.
And there's a nice little kind of the way that you move your workers. You've got 3 kind of resource cards, and you choose one of those resource cards. So let's say it's wood, and you play it in a position 1, 2, or 3, and that gives you movement of 1, 2, or 3. So you achieve the movement by placing it in a position, but you also get the good then. And it's
so you have to work out which
good do I want to
which good in which number.
Which place.
Yeah,
it's a really tricksy little game. And do you move in the city or do you move?
There are lots of things to think about.
Yeah.
But it's an enjoyable experience. It's not
really
like
is.
it's not, you don't go crazy.
And again, it is kind of entry level worker placement. It's not massively complicated, even though it looks it, but it can be. There's a lot going on, a lot of layers, and also really unusual scoring track in this one.
Yeah.
You've got 2 things that you're moving along. One is the housing, and one is the citizens, and you have to kind of keep those in tandem because the lowest one is the one that scores. But there we go. So Crown of Amara, we thoroughly recommend that you check this one out if you've not done so before, and. We'll see you on the next one, guys, and check out our channel if you want to see us doing more reviews. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Trick or treat, wonderful humans. Anthony here from Board Game Dads, back with another Zoomable game. We are knee-deep in spooky season, so I wanted to talk about a Halloween-themed game that is able to be played remotely. It is the award-winning Ghost Fightin' Treasure Hunters. This is from designer Brian Yu from Mattel, of all things, and this is a cooperative game where you're going to be working together as these basically child paranormal investigators going into this haunted house and trying to retrieve these jewels. Now, there's a couple of modes here. You can play a basic one, but the more advanced one wants you to escape from the house with these jewels in order. So finding jewel number 1, 2, etc. Now, of course, it's a haunted house, so there's going to be plenty of ghosts that are trying to stop you from completing these goals, but you can defeat them if you roll lucky. And if you have a couple of people with you in one room, you could even take out some of these bigger baddies here. Really cool components. The player pieces have a little notch in the backpack that lets you put the little jewel token in, which is totally unnecessary, but really, really awesome, and I appreciate that a lot. The board is pretty cool. Anybody who's familiar, who've ever played Clue before, is going to appreciate the layout of this board. And yeah, it's a roll and move game. Super simple, guys. It's ages 8 and up, but it plays really well with adults as well, and a great family game for sure. Now, playing over Zoom, only one person really needs to have the deck of cards. It doesn't change much, doesn't matter who really pulls them. It's only going to tell you where to add ghosts into the house. And again, just make sure that you're keeping track of where everybody is. And you should be able to play this game in the allotted time, which is about 30 minutes, even remotely. That's it for this week. Stay tuned. I'll have another remote spooky game to talk about soon. And thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Enjoy your breakfast.
All right, let's take a look at the news for the week. So one of the most confusing names in board gaming is Bullet Heart. And I'm still not sure if the game is called Bullet Heart or just Bullet, but it doesn't matter because the sequel's out and it's Bullet Star. You can mix them together. I'm still not sure.
Heart.
Just because I have no clue, is this Bullet is a person also in some IP?
No. They're just bullets. You're like it's like you're all these different characters who are shooting bullets at each other, and then think of it almost like a Tetris style game.
But
you are using your powers to manipulate the bullets as they fall down different colored columns, and you don't want your column to get completely filled up or you lose a life point.
This person on the cover.
That's the game.
The person on the cover, is this person half deer or half tree? It's very interesting. I'm just trying to like put my head around the artwork here. Like, is it like maybe it's like some anime IP that I wouldn't understand.
Well, no, it's completely made up for the game. But I did enjoy my kids really like this game, and they like the fact that each of these heroines who's in the game has like a backstory and a soundtrack, because the game is like a 3-minute. You're timed as you are, you're manipulating the different bullets. You have like a 3 minutes to do so. Well, they each have their own soundtrack that you can play that's 3 minutes long.
Well, I like games where I can shoot at people, so I would probably like it. But
I don't know that this is definitely a puzzle. You're thinking it's like Dr. Mario, if you remember that game.
No.
Yeah, Dr. Mario was a straight up killer. He shot a lot of bullets.
Well, just because they're bullets, just because they're bullets doesn't change the theming of the game. They're just falling down. But each character has special abilities. They can move them around, and you're just trying to get stuff into different directions. Anywho, let's move on. Space Base finally is getting a second expansion. They came out with the first expansion. Then they came out with the big box, and the owner of AEG, John Zinzer, told me that he did not want to release an expansion unless it was really good, because I knew they were working on this for a while. And I asked him, when's it coming out? And he said, maybe never, because we're only going to release it if we think it's worth releasing.
Right.
So be that as it may, here it is. It doesn't really talk a lot about the new expansion. It says there's a narrative structure. The first one, which was the emergence of Shy Pluto, it was a little bit like you played through 4 or 5 different scenarios that added a couple new rules, and then you could just throw it in your game.
Okay.
It wasn't really legacy. It's just like, oh, we introduced this. You play through a little campaign, maybe a big boss that you fought at the end type thing.
Okay.
And so this one, they said, follows that narrative. And then it says once the story is completed, you can replay through the story or just throw the contents in your game.
Well, you must be really excited about this, Tom. I know you like Space Base a lot.
I do like Space Base a lot, and I am really excited about this, although I played a prototype expansion for Space Base 2 years ago, and I thought it was okay. So,
okay.
But I mean, they've had 2 years.
I'm sure they've changed it up.
All right, Detective Rummy is coming from WizKids. This is a Rummy style game that's done by Mike Fitzgerald, because this is like a lot of what he does. He makes a lot of Rummy games with his detective series on it. So this is, I think he was working originally on a legacy version of Detective Rummy. Was that not announced like a year ago?
He absolutely was.
I think this is it. Is this not it?
It might be it, but it's no longer legacy. It's campaign. But you can play them standalone.
Kind of same thing, right? I mean.
Well, no. I mean, this sounds quite different than that, and I don't know that ever did or will see the light of day. The legacy version. This might be something that fell out of that, so to speak. Maybe, like in other words, they changed the whole thing and made it this. This is definitely like you have 7 cases to solve. Like this sounds much more like a a campaign type of game.
Yeah, but it says you don't even have to play campaign. You can just play case modes and just play them as standalone games one at a time. I think that's cool.
Yeah. No, this is great. I love the mystery rummy series of games. A little old school now, but I was one of the things I cut my teeth on in the beginning of hobby gaming. So this is exciting actually to me. And I love Mike and Z over at WizKids. So this is cool.
Yeah, my only issue with this, I'd kind of been seeing this before and following it. It doesn't say it here, but if I'm not mistaken, my only concern here is that this is extremely expensive.
Is it?
Like the cost of the box is like, I'm gonna pull a number out of my hat here, but it's like $80 or something.
Is it? Oh, is it actually?
I think so. That's what I remember seeing that and going, whoa, this is because the mystery rummy games, they're small, yeah, but they're like $16 or $15.
Sure, but if you're getting 7 games in one box, maybe that's worth it then.
And
they're really different, yeah. We'll see. I'm curious.
And they're one another cool thing is I believe I read here that they're completely replayable. So the cases will come different the same way that when you play the mystery rummy games, right? And you play the Jack the Ripper one, right? That's sort of the most popular, I think, of the series. It could be that this guy was the Jack the Ripper, or it could have been this woman is Jack the Ripper. So I think it's similar to that idea. Looks like it, which is better.
It looks great. I mean, I love this cover. I like the artwork. It looks very striking.
This is for me.
All right.
This one's
Ghostbusters.
Crazy.
Ghostbusters is invading Zombicide. So the CMON's releasing some expansion with IDW, but IDW no longer exists, so I'm not really sure how that's working out.
No, IDW does exist. IDW Media Holdings exists.
I apologize.
So the
IDW
publisher
Games no longer exists.
So they're licensing it through the parent company, which exactly does this kind of stuff. When I saw this one, I was like, this is odd. Okay, we're gonna get Ghostbusters. Hey,
I would play Zombicide if the Abominations were replaced with the marshmallow guy, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I would love that. That would be hilarious.
I dig Zombicide. I haven't played it in a million years, but I like it. But this is going to be cute, I guess, and hopefully thematic to Ghostbusters. It looks like it.
What's weird to me is this looks like it's an expansion to or compatible with OG Zombicide.
I agree. Yeah. I think it might be Z, but they also might. I think this is a product that existed already, and they're getting it out the door now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that could be.
Includes components for Zombicide first and second edition. It says there on the box.
Oh, it does?
It says there in that red piece on the box.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go then. It works for both.
Very cool.
Cool. That's a good way to do that.
Yep.
All right. Leader Games has announced... let's see where we're at. Leader Games has announced an upcoming game from Cole Worley called Arcs, because all Leader Games have 4 letters: Collapse and Conflict in the Void. And it sounds like this is a space version of Oath. I'm not saying it's a space version of Oath. Let me rephrase that. But he's trying to make another narrative game like Oath.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's Oath again. He says, the quote he said when talking about it, he said, "I used to describe Oath as learning 2 to 3 root factions at once. Arcs is probably less than a single root faction." So he's saying it's easier to understand and get into. He said, "This is probably my simplest game."
Oh, you know what? All of a sudden, this is shooting up for me. I like the sci-fi. I like the look of these little characters. It's very comic book. And if it's lighter than Oath and then sort of, a little more easy to grasp than most of his other games, this could be the one for me. So that's pretty exciting.
All righty. So that's coming to Kickstarter in 2022. All righty. Sumatra from Reiner Knizia and Luda Nova is coming to the U.S. from Asmodee. I really hope they're changing the cover. And if they don't change, the cover's fine, actually. I hope they change the font.
Yeah. Well, when I saw this, I'm like, ooh, coffee. Sumatra is like my favorite coffee. I literally thought it was a game about coffee. Then I looked down. I'm like, no, I don't think it is. It's down.
All righty. Well, anyway, that's small news. Let's talk about something finally.
You've reviewed that game already also, Tom, by the way. So if anybody is curious about this game, you can actually go to our channel and look up the review from Tom, and you'll know.
Not super positive. I think it's an okay game with really bad graphic design.
Well, if people want to know more, they can go check that out right now. You don't have to wait for this to be republished.
Right. All right. So at Gen Con in 2018, that
was about a decade ago at this point.
Simon showed off the Taburu system, which I was pretty excited about. And finally, they're announcing a game for this. The first title is The Bad Karmas and the Curse of the Zodiac. That's a weird name. It's a cooperative boss battle game where players control a cast of unlikely heroes fighting 12 giant demigods to save the planet. It's going to be bundled with the system. This is the Super Mario for their Nintendo. So this is going to be bundled with Taburu.
Okay.
It says in the press release, it didn't mention Simon at all, but we're just going to assume Simon's involved with it still until I'm told differently. This is going to be crowdfunded on Kickstarter in 2022 Q1. And they said it's going to be shown off at Essen this week. I haven't heard anything about it, but if anyone has gone there and seen it, let us know.
Oh, interesting.
All righty. This one's kind of interesting. The nominees for the Game of the Year, the Juego de Año, in Spain, have been announced. So the games have to be published for the first time in Spain to be eligible for the award. So there's different nominations: Micro Macro, Paleo, Red Cathedral, Unmatched. And the winner is Kingdom Builder.
It was nominated also, but yes, you didn't mention it in the nomination.
Well, yes, because I mean, it has to be nominated to win, obviously.
Right. No, I guess you're saying because this game is 5 years old at least, right?
Yeah, but come on, guys. One of the nominees was High Society from Knizia.
Kingdom
You have
Builder
any idea
came
how
out.
old that game is?
Well, I can tell you. First of all, Kingdom Builder came out a decade ago in 2011. And High Society came out in 95.
Right.
Which is 26 years ago.
Well,
that's wild.
These are first edition in Spanish games. That's the reason, right? I'm sure.
I think that's the idea, right?
Well, published in Spain specifically. So by like the Spiel des Jahres. Spiel des Jahres could be from a game that was in Yugoslavian for 10 years, and all of a sudden it was published by a German publisher, and then it could win Spiel des Jahres, be nominated and win.
This has to be a new record, though. This is a game nominated for Best Game of the Year that came out in 1995. What is that? 26 years old? That's pretty wild, man. I mean, that's like...
Hey, this is better. I guess they're fighting the cult of the new.
Yeah.
They are for sure. I mean, it's all sorts of new and older things, but if that had won, if High Society had won, it has to be a record for the game that has the longest window from original publication to winning a Game of the Year award.
I don't even. I can't remember what High Society was like, but I don't remember it being something I loved. So it's kind of weird.
We'll play with you at the retreat. It's in the card game.
Is it good?
Section. Yeah,
pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
High Society is good.
Let's play.
All right.
Best game of 2021.
In sad news, the CEO of Hasbro, Brian Goldner, passed away. Pretty young, actually. He was only 58. It was from cancer. So I actually didn't know he was I think we may have mentioned his name once or twice in the past. He was their CEO for 20 years. So he was responsible for a lot of different franchises. He was definitely involved with the Wizards of the Coast purchase from Hasbro and stuff. I don't know a lot about him, but just thought we'd mention that as it is news.
It is.
That's terrible. 58, man.
This is why one retires early.
One retires early if they have the money. Come on now, Bonniger.
Well, this man had the money, but I'm very sad to hear him passing. Now I understand why I got that message on my phone about a job opportunity at Hasbro. No, I'm only kidding. I did not.
What is wrong with you?
I'm joking.
Let's go to the next piece of news before we irritate all the fans. Squid Ink. Do you like the name, Z?
Squid Ink? I
No,
guess. Why?
Ink with a C instead of a K.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I get the pun.
It's a
now.
pun.
I didn't get it either at first. Mike pointed it out to me.
Yeah.
I did not get it. I thought Squid Incorporated. Okay, but I get now Squid Ink.
Yeah. I did not get it either at first. Thank you, Tom, for.
I did not give credit to Mike. Squid Ink was created by Ivan Turner, who did the Apocalypse card game. It has art from the person who did Dinosaur Tea Party and Chronicles of Crime. I like that art. Yeah. 80 different pieces. You are choosing employees and moving them up the corporate ladder. I guess the theme isn't making any sense to me here.
Are you hiring squids? I mean, or is it like fish maybe that are the employees?
Listen, it's the ocean's largest corporation.
Squid, right?
It's the ocean's largest corporation called Squid Ink. I don't understand why you don't understand that. It's obvious.
Let's move to something more interesting. In very big news, Marvel Dice Throne is coming out. So Dice Throne from Roxley, which is where you take a couple characters and you fight them against each other in a very much like King of Tokyo style way. Really fun game. I like it a lot. And now they got the license for Marvel. So there'll be different characters coming out. You'll be able to buy them in different starter packs, character first character. And these characters are fully compatible with the original characters from Dice Throne. So that's pretty neat. One of the things I really like about this, and by the way, they're co-publishing this Roxley with the Op. So the Op does a lot of the licensing for different things on it. One of the things that I like about this is the artist for this is the same artist for Dice Throne. They like that guy's art style so much they allowed him to draw the Marvel characters.
That's cool.
That's great.
That's almost unheard of, actually.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's neat. I've never played Dice Throne. Tom's never let me, so he loves it, but I'm not allowed to.
I have not played it, so you and I will play it at the retreat.
We'll put this on the Catch-A-Palooza
Well, I wouldn't
list.
go that
Chris?
far, Bonacor, okay? Pump the brakes.
We can only play one game per convention. That's it.
That's it. And right now it's going to be, what was it we said? Vicious Fishes or whatever.
High Society.
High Society, yeah, that's it.
One game only. One game only.
No, like I was saying, I haven't played Dice Throne, but having the Marvel license on it might get me to pick up some of this and give it a go. Now, I won't mix. I'm a stickler for that kind of garbage, so I'll stick with the Marvel people and just have a Marvel game that is based.
So you're not going to do that with Unmatched either?
I might, but I probably will stick with fights that make sort of sense.
Okay.
For me. You know what I mean? Just for me. My point being, I don't already own Dice Throne, though, and I'll like having a Marvel game based in it. Have they said who is going to be featured?
No. I can't answer that question because I know who's featured, but I don't know if it's been announced.
So you and I are going to be talking toot sweet.
But folks, we will be. I already mentioned that in a week from Monday, we're going to be doing a whole week of just playing games live here on camera, and that will be one of the ones we're playing because we got an early copy of it, so we'll show it off.
Why am I still sitting here?
All right. Well, let's get to my favorite piece of news for the week because I get to rant about this once a year, and it's that time of year again.
Okay.
So the Strong National Museum of Play, which, as an aside, I've heard nothing but good about this museum. I've heard it's amazing. Someday I'll go there.
The one in Rochester, right?
Yes. They have the National Toy Hall of Fame and a bunch of drunk judges each year pick 12 different toys from a variety of stuff.
Oh, God, Tom.
And then they're not drunk. Let me rephrase that. But they're not good judges.
You need to put the word
they're
toys
high.
in quotes, though.
They're high.
They pick toys.
So every year they pick these different toys, and then they let people vote on them. Yes. And then the 3 of the toys makes it in. So I'm going to go, before I go through this year's nominees, let's talk about the toys that are currently in the Hall of Fame here. So we have the rubber duck, the game of life, playing cards, dominoes, big wheel, Atari 2600 game system, dollhouse, blanket, Nintendo Game Boy, Hot Wheels, Star Wars action figures, chess, teddy bear, Scrabble, Lincoln Logs, jump rope, Jack in the Box, jacks, jigsaw puzzle, hula hoop, erector set, Crayola crayons, G.I. Joe, Easy Bake Oven, Frisbee, the Duncan Yo-Yo, Candyland, checkers, the cardboard box, bicycle, Raggedy Ann and Andy, Tonka trucks, kite, bubbles, Barbie, baby doll, Etch-a-Sketch, Monopoly, alphabet blocks, Tinker Toy, skateboard, Slinky, the stick, Viewmaster, silly putty, roller skates, rocking horse, radio flyer wagon, Play-Doh, marbles, Mr. Potato Head, Lego, Lionel trains, coloring book, Matchbox cars, pinball, Magic 8-Ball, Uno, Clue, paper airplane, wiffle ball, Fisher-Price Little People, Dungeons and Dragons, the swing, Super Soaker, puppet, Twister, Rubik's Cube, Little Green Army Men, Baby Nancy, Jenga, Sidewalk Chalk, and Magic the Gathering.
So when you say like cardboard box and paper airplane, you just mean that is in the Hall of Fame. A cardboard box.
One of the best games that year was the cardboard box. Yes.
Well, let me read you the details here on the page for the cardboard box.
No, you don't have to.
The Chinese invented cardboard in the 1600s.
You don't have to do this. Killing me.
Oh, we're going back that far, huh?
But we're talking about a cardboard box, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's this year's nominees.
Oh my God.
America Girl Dolls, Battleship, Billiards, Cabbage Patch Kids, Fisher-Price Corn Popper, Mahjong, Masters of the Universe, Pinata, Risk, Sand, The Settlers of Catan, and Toy Fire Engine.
Sand.
I love it. Sand. Who invented sand? What's the story on that? The Chinese invented sand 1 billion years ago. Come on, no. It's sand.
I mean, this is
the designer is God or something like that.
This is embarrassing, I think, because here's the thing. Every year they have a list of these, and they pick 3 of them that are going to make it in. And whatever 3 make it in, then the other ones kind of disappear into the nether. You don't hear about them anymore, and that makes no sense to me. It's
sand,
not like
I will say sand should disappear, okay? Get out of my shoes.
Yeah, but, okay, how about this, though? Do you feel like billiards should be in it? What kid plays billiards? Or what kid is playing, what's the other one that was weird? Like a piñata's not a toy.
It is if you fill it with sand.
Crazy.
Right. I will accept that.
Oh, goodness.
Again, if they're going to do things like put sand and stick and box in, then why wasn't that all done at the beginning? Like, just stick all this stuff in and blanket, right? Stick all this nonsense in, and then each year go back and say, let's take a look at. I mean, that's what baseball and other Hall of Fames do. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame doesn't be like Caveman Joe. You know,
he once threw a rock so fast.
It's just so weird to me.
Man.
Like, if you're voting there, you're like, okay, Magic the Gathering, Tonka truck, sand. What do you vote for?
I don't know. This is
crazy talk.
Ridiculous.
I really think a Toy Hall of Fame is a good idea. And I think a lot of these things are good. In fact, I would be upset if this was their list of things they were adding. But you only vote on 3 of them, and then the rest don't make it in. It just is so weird to me. And they also let the general public vote on it. So anything can happen there.
There's no way people look at this list and don't laugh about it, right? I mean, am I crazy in believing that?
Maybe
people have to look at that and go, ooh, Settlers of Catan, yeah, that's a good game, or Catan, or whatever. And then sand is on the list. Sand.
But maybe they're doing it for that purpose. They're doing it to get to get people talking about it.
So you think they put ridiculous things on there knowing it'll just sort of generate conversation? That could be.
Actually, someone here mentioned they haven't done rocks and stones yet. They also haven't done the water puddle.
That's coming.
Yes, the water puddle. I loved that.
What about the squirt bottle that's above the sink when you don't have a squirt gun? So your mom lets you use the squirt bottle.
Well, Bubbles is on the list, right?
Yes.
This really makes me think of that.
There.
Mr. Barker, have you ever seen the Saturday Night Live skit with the bag of glass?
No.
This is back in your day when Dan Aykroyd, he was like the salesman trying to sell really bad Christmas presents.
Oh gosh, no, did not see that. Sounds bad.
Alrighty, here we go. Lucky Duck has announced a bunch of new releases: Small Islands, Crime, Zoom, and what's the other one? Tranquility.
Tranquility, yeah.
Lucky Duck knows how to make a good-looking box.
They do, and they are very good.
So you can learn more about them. I think I just got this like today in the mail, so I'm assuming these were announced at Essen or something like that.
Right.
Some of these are actually at least two of them I think are just republished games from other smaller companies, if I'm not mistaken.
Ah, okay.
Oh yeah,
that
much
makes sense.
Yeah, you can see the logo.
I know.
Of different
I've
company.
seen that Tranquility game. Yeah, I've seen that Tranquility game cover in the past. And Small Islands, I've reviewed. I reviewed a copy we got at Essen, I guess, last time we were there. So 2018 or 19 or whatever. I don't know. So you can go see my review of Small Islands right after you watch Tom's review of whatever we were talking about earlier.
All right, and finally, are you a legendary gamer? Upper Deck is searching for the ultimate legendary gamer to send to Gen Con 2022. It says the legendary gamer is the most passionate of tabletop gamers who's made a positive impact in the gaming or legendary community. So I guess they're talking about Marvel Legendary. So you're not a legendary gamer. You're a gamer who's likes legendary. Anyway, there's some contests. You have to make a video, send it to YouTube, and you're telling you why you're the ultimate legendary gamer. That's got to be a tough gig to do, right? You have to like brag about yourself. I thought at first it was going to be you like nominated other people to win this, but no, you nominate yourself.
Okay, I wonder if are they.
And yeah, Stephen, we'll let you use our video equipment when you come down for your video.
Tabletop legend Stephen Bonacore, as quoted by TechRaptor.net. Tabletop legend Stephen Bonacore. Okay. They said that, Tom.
You were also called a really nice guy by EW.
EW is talking about me. That's great. So from now on, you must address me as Tabletop legend Stephen Bonacore. I just want you to know that. Okay. From now on,
when a legit news source calls you that, I'll do it. All right.
TechRaptor.net, very legitimate.
All right, and finally, badges are now available for PAX Unplugged. They really waited to the last second to make these. I think it was a couple weeks ago they announced this. You do have to be vaccinated to go, but it is happening December 10th to 12th, which is really close to Christmas, which is one of the reasons, unfortunately, that we're not going.
Yeah. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
You're going, Stephen? You are going?
100% I'm going.
We better say like 95%, but yes.
Going.
You don't know what's going to happen?
98% going. I got my hotel. I didn't book the plane yet, but I will be. I'm just looking at
98. And the percentage just went down.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Philadelphia in December. It's amazing.
That's the news.
Hi, it's Taryn.
And Stella from Meeple University and the Dice Tower. Today we are going to talk about these two lovely, similar-ish games, Cascadia and Calico. So both by the same publishers, and both are tile laying games.
Yes, both hexagonal tile drafting and laying games. Limited interaction game where you'll be taking tiles from a central pile and then building up your own network of hexagons. Try to score as many points through various objectives.
Which one do you prefer?
I really like Cascadia, the newer of the two. For me, I guess overall they have a similar level of types of complexity in terms of what you're trying to build, but I like the drafting more in Cascadia because it's got an extra bit of decision making in that you've got the two things you're drafting. You're drafting a tile and an animal token versus just a tile and Calico. And I like the extra decision that brings into the game.
I think I don't know, it's really hard for me because I really like both. Calico, I probably can do a touch better than Cascadia. I kind of like almost always ignore one or the other. So if I'm focusing on the terrain, I usually ignore the animals. I'm like, which one do I want to do it? Calico, probably the same thing. Maybe I slightly like Cascadia more than Calico, but it's really close. So how about you? Which one do you like better? Is there any preference? Do you like both? Do you keep both because they're kind of similar? Let us know if you have any preference. So again, I'm Stella.
I'm Tarrant.
From Dice Tower and Meeple University. See you next time.
Well, hi everybody, I'm Doug Jr.
And I'm Doug the Third.
And you're watching a Fellowship of Meeples with Doug and Doug Gaming. So we're going to continue recommending some great games for your game nights using this deck of letter cards from the game Trophies. I've already shuffled them up. But we're going to pick a random letter, Doug the Third, if you would please. All right. We're going to find a game to recommend that starts with the letter
S.
My favorite game that I would highly recommend for your gaming group that starts with S, which is one of my all-time favorite games, is Shadows over Camelot. However, you may not be able to find this. It is currently out of print. Doug and I discussed this, and we have decided to disqualify this from our recommendation since it's going to be
game.
A lot of fun. If you get a chance to play this, play it. But Doug picked out one that I think also works, and that is
Sushi Go.
Sushi Go. In this game, you're going to have a hand of cards, and you're going to draft one card from that hand and place it in front of you face down. You're going to pass your cards to the next player, and you're going to draft another card from your current hand.
Now, in your hand, you might be drafting things like wasabi, dumplings, maki rolls, and other things like that. By the end of the game, you'll have a deck, and you'll be combining points based on those cards to get your end score to see who wins each round.
So it's kind of a filler game. It's definitely a party game.
Not to mention there's also Sushi Go Party, which is actually made for more players. We don't have that one, but same thing.
Same thing. So we do highly recommend Shadows over Camelot, one of my favorites. But other than that, we're going to recommend Sushi Go for your next game night.
Well, thank you so much for joining us again at a Fellowship of Meeples. I'm Doug the Third.
I'm Doug Jr.
Thank you for watching.
We'll see you next time.
All right, folks. Well, that's it for another board game breakfast. Don't forget what I said about Dice Tower Retreat. And also, Dice Tower East registration for that's opening up the 27th of this month. That's not too far off. And you're going to have a fantastic time. Also, that's at the Caribe in Orlando. So either way, we hope to see you at those things. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
And I'm the Podfather of Gaming, Stephen Bonner.
We're gonna go play in our new sandbox.
Ooh, I'm bringing a cardboard box.